Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be checking out this new product from LiteFighter. So I've been a huge fan of LiteFighter and their shelter systems for a while now, but haven't yet had a chance to actually get my hands on one. The LiteFighter 1 was just a bit too small for me, so I didn't end up picking up one of those. And when the LiteFighter 2 came out, I had already picked up the Snug Pack Scorpion 2 at that time. But when they came out with the FIDO 2 AI, which is the all-in, I was really stoked about that and have been really wanting to get my hands on one. So finally, I got this sent to me from the folks over at LiteFighter, and looking forward to checking it out. For those of you that didn't know, FIDO is kind of a play on the military pup tent, which has been in use in many different variations since the American Civil War. So out of the box, it comes with this nice kind of Cordura nylon tent bag, complete with cinch straps on the outside. Looks very well made. It's got the LiteFighter logo up front here. And let's open her up and see what we get. The LiteFighter All-In comes with a waterproof ground sheet, inner tent, rainfly, press fit pole set, 6 ground stakes, 4 tie-outs, waterproof tough sack, and a basic field repair kit. You also get the cold weather kit, which does not come with the standard FIDO 2, which consists of the windbreaker, 4 snow sand anchors. All of these can be purchased separately as well. Setting up the FIDO 2 is a pretty straightforward process and will likely feel pretty intuitive for anyone who has set up a dome-style tent in the past. I did so initially without reading the setup instructions, which can be found on their website and is also printed on a label on the inside of the tough sack. It took me about 15 minutes to set it up initially because I couldn't quite figure out how the cord locks worked. The FIDO has a bathtub floor which measures 87 inches by 55 inches and has about a 41-inch headroom. For reference, you can see my 2 Climate Static V Recon air mattresses, which measure 72 inches by 23 inches. Just in front of each of the doors, you will find a mesh pocket, which is designed to allow you to tuck the doors into it when fully open to keep it out of the way. Most of the inner tent body is constructed using a fabric the company calls no-seam mesh. This design promotes maximum airflow, which is really nice, particularly during the warmer months, and is also great in general to help minimize condensation buildup on the inside. You will also find 4 mesh pockets on each of the tent's 4 corners. I did wish these pockets were just slightly bigger, as I found their size and angle design made gear retention a bit challenging. But then again, that was just from my own personal experience based on what I typically like to carry in there. On the outside of the tent body, towards the base of the tent, you'll find several loop panels. These are designed to attach to the opposing hook panels on the inside of the rainfly. On the rainfly, you'll find 2 similar loop panels. However, these are designed to allow servicemen to attach their name tapes, as typically your whole section would have all been issued the same shelter system. This webbing loop on the fly above the pole hub is designed to allow you to attach a chem light for added marking. Because I haven't seen this type of cord adjuster design before, it had me a bit confused, so I thought I'd go over it quickly here for anyone finding themselves in a similar predicament. First, take the end of the guy line that has a loop in it and thread it through the center of the cord lock adjuster, forming a loop which would go around the ground stake or whatever you're anchoring your tent to. You would then take the looped end again, run it through the cord lock adjuster, doubling back on itself. Once under tension, the cord lock will prevent the tie-out lines from moving. To adjust it, simply rotate the cord lock so that it is perpendicular to the line and move the adjuster up or down your line until the desired tension is achieved. The molded polymer hardware makes inserting the press fit poles a breeze, and there's something really satisfying about how the polymer hooks on the rainfly attach them, and it does a great job of locking this tension in even in the rain or the snow. The dual entry design is a refreshing break from my previous tent that only had one door. As you can see, the vestibules on the FIDO are very roomy. For reference, you can see my fully loaded 90-liter Stone Glacier R3 pack. Installing the cold weather kit pretty much just involves draping it over the top of your main tent body, putting the grommets through the tent poles that are over the top of your entryways, and then putting the clips through the holes located along the seams of the cold weather kit, and then clipping it to the tent poles. And it's pretty much as simple as that. And then at the corners, you would go down and attach the hooks to the plastic hardware. And that's it. What the cold weather kit does is it basically seals off the inner tent body, which is otherwise just made with a no-see-um mesh type fabric, which is great in the other 3 seasons when you would like to have it be breathable and help you stay cool. However, in the winter months, obviously, you want to trap as much heat as possible, and that's what the cold weather add-on allows you to do. Along with the cold weather kit, you get 4 snow anchors, which look like little parachutes that you basically attach to where you would put the tie downs or the tent stakes, and you would instead use these snow anchors to, you would put snow inside it, you would dig a little bit of a hole, you bury it in there, and you compact snow around and on top of it, and that essentially anchors your tent when you don't have, where tent stakes wouldn't work as well. One of the other setups for this tent is a super minimalist setup, which basically just involves the fly, the poles, and the ground sheet. I'm 5'7", and I found that the tent to be extremely roomy, especially when compared to my Snugpak Scorpion 2. While I would say that most tents that are advertised as 2-person tents are usually more like a 1.5-person tent, this is certainly true in the case of the Snugpak Scorpion 2, I would say that the FIDO 2 is able to comfortably fit 2 people and my dog in my case, with more than enough room in the vestibule to stow your pack, boots, and bulkier gear. There are enough pockets on the inside to keep your smaller items, and the door pocket doubles as a nice shelf for your headlamp or other similar lights for a nice indoor lighting solution. I found there was enough airflow and ventilation so as not to have condensation build up on the inside of the tent, even with the windbreaker installed. The only exception would be when we had a significant dumping of snow overnight on a recent trip, which pretty much buried the tent, causing the 2 vents at the top and around the bottom of the tent to get blocked. Because of the FIDO's dome shape, I was able to push the snow that collected on the roof easily enough from the inside, however. As far as weather resistance goes, having used the tent in both rainy and snowy conditions, down to about 17 degrees Celsius, I can personally attest to its effectiveness at keeping the weather out while being breathable enough to not wet out from the inside. As the old infantry saying goes, ounces makes pounds and pounds equals pain. There's always a trade-off between a tent's packability and durability, and despite its name The LiteFighter is not the lightest tent out there, and when packed into its tough sack, it's not the smallest either. The fly weighs 31.3 ounces. The ground sheet weighs 14.8 ounces. The stakes and the guy lines 5.2 ounces. The body is 40 ounces. The cold weather kit is 16.3 ounces. The snow anchors are 4.9 ounces. The poles are 20.4 ounces. And the tough sack is 11.6 ounces. Now, if you were to bring the entire shelter system like you would on a winter trip, its total packed weight would be in around 144.5 ounces, or about 9 pounds. If you were to go minimalist, the lightest packed configuration would be the Hasty Hooch, which would weigh around 71.7 ounces, or just about 5 pounds, assuming you would also be omitting the tough sack. That being said, the tent's myriad of configurations allows the end user to prioritize the needs from the minimalist with the Hasty Hooch setup to the full meal deal with the cold weather setup. The main pros are many: versatility, scalability, and especially for those on a budget who like to spend a lot of time in the backcountry all year round. You don't need to have one tent for the warmer months and one separate one for the colder months anymore. You can now just have the one tent and simply add or subtract the windbreaker as needed. Not to mention that a decent 4-season tent would cost you considerably more in the end at the till. The only real con I would really say is the weight of the shelter system. If you're an ultralight hiker, you'd probably be better served by a non-freestanding, more minimalist tent, maybe even a hammock tent. One recommendation I would give is that if you already know you're going to be in an area that requires you to utilize the windbreaker, set it up before you leave the house by pre-installing the windbreaker over the tent body. This saves you some time and keeps you minimally out in the conditions that you're going to be in. In conclusion, the shelter system that you have is your most important pieces of gear. After all, it's what protects you from the rain, the wind, insects, and other critters. It's important to choose a tent that will keep you dry and comfortable. If you're looking for a freestanding tent that is versatile, durable, and can handle winter nights in the backcountry, then I would highly suggest looking into the FIDO 2AI series. Subdued colors are and earthy colors are not just for the military anymore. Sure, there's that cool factor, but consider this. Although we do our best to pick less crowded destinations and plan trips outside of peak times, every now and then we will still occasionally arrive at a campsite only to find it packed with tents. Now let me pose this question to you. If you end up in a similar situation, would you rather be surrounded by a sea of bright, eye-catching tents, or ones that just blend in more seamlessly with the natural landscape? Is this not also consistent with the leave no trace principles? I would also encourage you to consider how your gear choices impact the experience of others in shared outdoor spaces. Furthermore, there are some studies that have suggested that certain colors can have a more disruptive impact on certain species than others, though further studies need to be conducted to determine its significance. Well, that's about all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you found this video useful and informative. And if I did miss anything, or if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop the comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Until then, we'll see you outside.